I will start this video by saying you are not a failure. Okay, that's first things first. Let's just get that out of the way. You may be watching this video and you may feel as though I am a failure, and I want to tell you this. You may have failed in certain aspects of your life, but you are not a failure. If you're feeling that within your spirit, I want to tell you that is a lie from the devil, okay? Today we're going to get into this amazing book called Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. And the reason I read this book was because it is the book of the month in our church. So everybody's an instruction, everybody has to read the book. And I have gained so much lessons from the book that I wholeheartedly believe that if you were to watch this video until the end, you will never, ever, ever, ever be stuck in failure, and 100% guaranteed you will achieve success. Okay, you will achieve success by fire, by force. This year of 2024, we're going to achieve success. Okay, so let's not waste any time. Let's dive in right away. First lesson from the book. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Lesson number 1, realize there is one major difference between average people and achieving people. Okay, there is one major difference between average people and achieving people. All right, so first, from the first chapter, what the author is talking about, he was, studying different people, different successful people that he knows, right? And he was wondering, what are certain things? What is the common theme, right? Is it maybe could it be like their family background, right? And the answer is no, because you have people, high achievers that come from broken households, right? They come from broken homes, and yet they still gain success. Okay. Could it be their wealth? Some people are, they're born into wealth and those things. And no, some people come from poverty and still, and I'm sure you have celebrities who will tell you they grew up in complete utter poverty, and yet you see where they are at right now. So it's not a thing of wealth, it's not a thing of family background, it's not a thing of opportunity, because opportunity, it's in the eye of the beholder. Oh, I loved when he said that. Opportunity is in the eye of the beholder. So you and I may be looking at the same thing. I may see opportunity and you may not, right? And that's not it. Could it be the absence of hardship, right? That they never went through some difficult stuff, and that is simply not true. Everybody that ended up succeeding in life, they went through some stuff, they went through some trials, some tribulations, but guess what? They persevered, right? And the other thing, could it be high morals? So high morals, this is, could it be that, good people, then they end up achieving success? And the truth is absolutely not. You know personally people that are, wealthy, rich, and they are horrible human beings, right? They are. Even if we think of Pablo Escobar, I love that show, Narcos, right? He was at some point one of the wealthiest people in the world, and he was, barbaric, killing people left, right, and center, right? So it's not a thing of high morals, it's not a thing of absence of hardship, it's not a thing of, your family background and all those things, right? And basically what he found was that the major difference between the high achievers and the average people, you and I shall never be average in Jesus' name, right? The major difference is how they perceive failure, okay? And simply what it is, they perceive failure as a stepping stone, okay? That is it, point blank, period. And I want to go through a few things that he listed that are difference between high achievers and average people. So, average people, they blame others. High achievers take responsibility, right? Average people repeat the same mistakes. High achievers learn from their mistakes. Okay? Average people expect never to fail, but high achievers know that knowing failure is part of the progress. Okay? And then average people expect to continually fail, whereas high achievers maintain a positive attitude. And on and on and on. There are more things that he lists there. Okay? So that's number 1, your perception of fear. And then number 2, it's to learn a new definition of failure, right? So he lists a few things that failure is not. That honestly, some of the things, they shocked me a little bit. But I'm sure when I go through the list, you may feel a certain way of some of these things, but today is your day to change that perspective, okay? So average people think that failure is avoidable, right? So this is the thing, when we're trying to achieve something new, when we're trying to do something new, we're trying, let's say you're trying to start a business, or you're trying to, pursue a career in content creation, whatever it is, in your mind, you may think that failure is avoidable. And we do this thing where, even let's say if you're preparing for an event, right? You're going to take up all the steps to ensure that event is a success and you don't experience failure, right? That is wisdom, and that is totally fine. But the truth is that on your journey to success, failure is not avoidable. It's not avoidable. As much as we may think it is, as much as we prepare, as much as, you will read all the books, you will watch all the videos. Failure is just that part of the process. I will be honest and say, even with this YouTube itself, like I have failed multiple times because I would always, record a few videos and then, I would feel discouraged, when I'm not getting the views or whatever, and I would just stop. To be honest, that was failure because for a number of months I wouldn't even keep going. And who knows if I kept going at that time where I would be right now, right? So failure is not avoidable. It will happen. That's just it, okay? Then the second thing, people think that failure is an event, and it's not, right? So for example, if you fail an exam, so you take that, failing of the exam, that is an event, and you feel as though that is the failure, right? And the truth is that for you to reach that point where you actually failed the exam, there were a string of decisions that you made for you to reach that conclusion, right? Could it be that you didn't, studying or we're not paying attention when, the teacher was teaching in class? Could be a number of reasons. But essentially, for you to reach that point, let's say if you got a D, that D is the event at that time. But there were a string of decisions that led you to that point, right? So it's not a one-time event. It's a process. It's a continuous thing, okay? The other thing, we think that failure is the enemy, right? It's not the enemy. Why? Because the important thing is that we learn lessons from it, right? And we think failure is irreversible. So this is like, when you have failed that paper and like you're you're miserable, you feel like, oh my God, like this is the end of the world. Like you're like, oh my gosh, like this is the end of the world, and no, that now looking back, you're like, you know what, like let's say now as if you're an adult watching this and you can look back at your days in school and, if certain things happen and you feel like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. And looking back, you're like, you know what, like that was not it, right? It was not like in the end, you failed that one paper, you passed the other papers, in the end you graduated, right? We hope you graduated. Even if you didn't, still, that does not determine the level of success that you can achieve, okay? And we think failure is final. It's not, okay? So that is that. So the definition of failure that you can write down, you can have it on your on your wallpaper, whatever, is failure is simply a price we pay to achieve success. So it is simply a part of the process. A story that I absolutely loved in the book was that most of us know about the Wright brothers, the ones that invented the plane. Now, what most of us don't know is Dr. Samuel Langley. So this is the story that is mentioned in the book. And basically what it was is that the mission that the Wright brothers had, to create airplanes, it was the same thing with him, right? The major difference was that the Wright brothers kind of like were not in the spotlight, but he was in the spotlight because he was being funded by the government. And he tried a few times and he failed miserably a few times. And because it was a project of like the public knowing about, I think the shame was too much to bear and he gave up, right? And another thing, this is a little bit just a caveat that I'll mention here very quickly. What I noticed, something that really touched me was that certain things, let's say, for example, right now with my YouTube channel, right? I would love to, get like 100K subscribers or, those dreams, like I have those dreams, I have that, like I would love to achieve that, right? But sometimes God will limit your success because of your level of maturity, because of your level of growth. He will know that this level of success you cannot handle at this time. And so your progress or your level of achievement is being kind of, I would say, it's not blocked, but it's paced out. Like your growth is not new. Like let's say I would love to wake up and have 100K subscribers, right? I would love that. But God is like, no, like I'm not going to do that, right? It's going to be a process, right? But there is a reason for that. Is because God knows with certain things, perhaps I will not be able to manage properly. I will not be able to handle it. Perhaps it will break me, right? And that is just how God operates, and it's for the best of us. Because what I noticed with this Dr. Samuel Langley, the reason why he gave up was because he was in the public view, whereas the Wright brothers were doing their thing, but nobody really knew about it. Not as many people as what happened to Dr. Samuel Langley. So there's a bit caveat that if you're currently feeling as though you're trying to do certain things and you're not getting that success, it could just be God. God is pacing you. He knows where you need to reach at certain times in a way that you can manage it, in a way that you can handle it. Okay, wonderful. So I wanted to mention that story. And of course, Dr. Samuel Langley gave up. That's the major difference between him and the Wright brothers, because the Wright brothers, guess what? They also failed a number of times, but of course they kept going, right? So as long as you keep going, as long as you learn from your mistakes and you keep going, you are not a failure, okay? And you will never be a failure, okay? Wonderful. And then the third lesson, remove the you from failure. So it's very simple, very straightforward. You failed at something, but you're not a failure. You made a mistake, right? And that's it. But don't take it personal. Don't own up to it and start saying to yourself, I'm a failure, because guess what? You're going to remain in that space that I really truly do not want you to remain in. Remove the you from the failure. You are not a failure. God brought you on this earth for a reason, and he wants you to succeed. He says, I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Right? So he has plans to prosper you and not to harm you. So automatically that means you will succeed and you are not a failure. Say to yourself, I am not a failure. I will never ever fail. Okay? The fourth point, I really, really love this one because because it relates to me so personal, and that is take action and reduce your fear. Okay? And the quote that I absolutely love, he says, the only way to get over the fear is to take action. I really, really love this because I personally feel we can relate to this point in a way that, let's say there is something that you know you need to do, but you're nervous about doing it, right? And you may not do it because you're waiting for, let's say, for those nerves to go away, or for that anxiety to go away. But the truth is that will never happen. And honestly, this lesson is to apply for my own life right now. And I'm going to be vulnerable with you and share this today. Something like deep, I would say, it began as a desire within me, and that is so in my church we have I already serve in my church, but I serve as part of the follow-up team. But then we also have the announcements team. So basically, with the service, we have the church announcements, right? And it started as a desire, but then I feel like later turned into distraction, where I feel as though the Lord is asking me to join that announcements team, right? And I am terrified. I am so scared because you can imagine. Actually, I didn't know. I don't know. I used to know this word growing up, but I kind of forgot about it until a video. I think I was watching a video and this person mentioned stage fright, and I never thought about it that way. But actually, that's what it is. It's stage fright. Like I am scared to, because the announcements, obviously, you're going to be on the stage and you're, making the announcements stuff, and I am really, really, really scared of doing that. So now I wholeheartedly believe God is asking me to do that, and I'm really scared. And the thing is that the reason I haven't even joined that team until now is because I've been waiting for those nerves to go away, for that anxious feeling to go away, and for me to actually tell them like, okay, I will join that announcements team. But the truth is that will never ever happen. The nerves that I'm feeling, that anxious feeling that I'm feeling, will never go away. The only way I will be able to get over that fear is actually by me signing up to be on that announcements team and getting on that stage and doing those announcements. Okay? Let me not say when I get to that point, I will come back here, do another video of the testimony. Okay? But for you right now, I will tell you, if there's something right now that you need to do and you are scared and you're waiting for those nerves to go away, you're waiting for those anxious feelings to go away, that's not going to happen. Okay? So that's something I learned from this book that I'm going to take away with me forever. That's not going to happen. It simply is not going to. You will prepare. You will. Even I love Sarah Jakes. So a pastor. Yeah, Pastor Sarah Jakes. I love her. And she always says like, Lord, I've prepared. My preparation. I prepared for this. I studied for this. But Lord, these nerves, help me. I don't. Help me with this. And she says very openly, like she feels nervous, but she still gets on that stage. Okay? So take that as you may. Okay? The next lesson that we get from the book is change your response to failure by accepting responsibility. This is huge. This is one of the major differences between high achievers and average people, is that high achievers take responsibility. When you have failed at something, don't be so quick to blame other people for what took place. Don't be so quick. It same can apply in a car accident. Somebody hit you from behind. Is did you brake suddenly? Like, what? I don't drive, but you know what I mean? Sometimes we are so quick to put the blame on other people because we don't want to face our own errors. We don't want to face our own mistakes. And we don't want to feel like we're inadequate, right? And while I do think that is normal, I also think that for us to gain those new levels of success, in order for us to succeed, honestly, we have to change that behavior. We have to be people that we take responsibility for our own actions. If something went wrong, what did I do to contribute to this? If you're having a fight, even if you may be in a relationship right now and you're having a fight with your partner, don't be so quick to say, oh, you did this. You need to, take a step back a little bit and like what was my role that I played in this? What did I do to contribute in this, right? And I do think that by doing that, with any setback that you experience. Oh, by the way, I love the quote. It's not a setback, it's a setup. Oh, I love that. So if you can take something away from the video, whatever it is, when it comes to your mistakes, when it comes to your failures, it's not a setback, it's a setup. But whenever you experience that setback, take responsibility. Ask yourself, what did I do to contribute to this? And what can I do better next time? That is the way we grow. That is the way we reach new levels. That is the way we succeed. Okay. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button and I will see you next week. Bye.